bitch. Like, what's that? What's her name? Oh yeah,
I need
bitch.
to
Bitchy
fix this fucking.
You should just call her. You should just call her upskirt from now on because okay. Well,
Whoa.
welcome to Mitch's dungeon.
Yeah.
After
Here we are.
hours.
Hey,
You turned on
after
the
hours.
black lights.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
you got the LEDs.
This episode podcast after hours.
After
Hey, where are those
hours.
white spots in the background, Mitch?
My things.
All
You
right.
think I would care about that, bro? Okay.
I'm gonna bother pulling up my browser today.
Right way.
So it's up to you guys to tell me if we're good to go.
You got too many tabs open.
I only have Discord and Streamlabs up now.
Too many tabs open. Way too many tabs open.
Right, what do I pay for you? Computer can't run 3 tabs.
Gotta get a better GPU. Gotta upgrade the whole thing.
I'll give you a GPU.
You look good. So, well, you don't look good. Your stream looks good.
Why my
Damn.
new trimmed off beard?
We're being
Think it
being
looks
so
good?
flirtatious this stream.
You look like 10 years younger, dude.
Why?
You look like we're back in high school.
Thanks for freshly shaving for the stream, Trav. That's awesome.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I wanted you to have the spotlight for a little bit. You know, you with
Thanks.
your
No, all we need is
your
Mitch.
little chin strap and
alright,
your
dude.
stash going.
All we need is Mitch.
Fuck that. I'm good.
Well, you already took some off the top, Mitch. You just gotta take that razor a bit down.
No, I'm good.
I'm not talking about your chin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Try to segue that shit.
I don't know.
All right, if there's anyone that can segue it, it's the one
It's
that looks
Josh.
like the man with the plan, the one with the polo, the door
Ooh.
closed, no witnesses. Let's go. Towel hanging on the door, head ass.
Yeah, cause that's how I dry it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dude, we are so good at intros.
I don't
It's not even
know.
funny.
Fucking.
Take it away, Josh's towel.
On today's episode of this episode, we are talking about episodes 17 through 20 of Noragami.
17.
I know, I fucked up. I tried to keep it.
That did pretty good.
I gotta say, these episodes were definitely nice.
Yeah.
I don't know where the hell we're going though in episode 20. Like,
you can understand why I told you the last arc makes no fucking sense.
yeah,
right?
I'm already lost. Episode 20, like everything's like, what are we at? 17 and then 18. Everything's
18
like
was really
done.
good,
Everything's like
yeah.
good. We're all cool. 19 happens and then 20 happens and it's just like what?
Yeah, I know.
We were going up, and now we're
gets
just
weirder.
now we're just tanking a little bit because it just doesn't make much sense. Granted, we
It
don't
gets
have the
weird.
full context.
It gets weirder, and the thing I've realized rewatching it is they introduce so much stuff in episode 20, like so much new things, like the Council of the Gods or whatever that was called, like Yato and Nora's father, like Ibisu, like the seven the seven most powerful gods. Like obviously they're supposed to be a season 3 because they introduced so much stuff in the last like 6 episodes, but they've never made a season 3. So.
Yeah, that is a good point because I was like, what is this Pillar of the God stuff and why is Yato not part of it? But we find out it's because he doesn't have a shrine. So that's why it's very important for gods to have shrines. But it's kind of crazy to think he's been around for how long and what the hell's her name? Hiyori is like the only person to make him a shrine. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
So that's why he's crying in our backdrop for this episode of 17.
17. Okay, so episode 17 starts with Hiyori and Kazu Daddy in the jail cell.
The king.
Trying to break it down. Hiyori's like, say no. She keeps kicking it like thinks she's going to do anything because she's little. And then Kazuma's like, hey, you need to stop because your tail is fading and you are going to die.
Yeah, cut it out.
What that tail doing? It's fading.
Yeah, what that tail doing? Yusuf was probably looking really close at her tail.
Yeah, I'm seeing where
Dude,
it's
I was
starting to
sad
fade
'cause there's
from.
about to be nothing else to look at.
And then we cut, so we kind of get like a 30-second recap of the fight between Bishamon and Yato, where Yuki jumps in front of the sword and sacrifices himself, and we were like, oh no, is Yuki dead? The cliffhanger from episode 16. But then we find out, nope, Yuki's a blessed vessel. He's just going to transform into 2 swords now instead of 1. And instead of like becoming like a cooler, more like unique looking sword, I'm just going to turn into 2 swords.
It's
You know,
instead of
cool.
growing like an actual fucking grip for the sword,
Yeah.
he just turns into a double sucky.
What's better
And now
than
Yato can
one
just
cool
double fist
sword?
it.
2 cool swords. Let's go, baby.
Sorry, Trav. I think he just has 2 swords.
No, they're cool.
You know,
I think the animator or the artist just wanted to change up the animation for like the little chant he does before
Yeah.
he gets rid of the phantom, and
I
finally
meant-
make him turn the other freaking side and catch the
Yato
other sword now.
with the Seki.
I mentioned that we fucking see it again like 3 times in these 4 episodes. I'm like, fucking stop.
At least it's slightly different.
It
or
was
whatever.
cool the first time, but no, like we always say, oh, it's so stupid that Yuki doesn't have a handle. I think that's actually like a traditional weapon in Japan, like a sword without a handle. I think, and like wrapped it. I think it's actually a weapon. I don't know how the hell you would fight with that, because I feel like you would cut your hands open. But
Maybe you just don't sharpen the bottom.
Well,
it's just like duller.
We can't really argue if it's right or wrong because apparently gods aren't wrong, according to Yato.
Yeah,
gods are never
He's
wrong.
got it right. We got it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
End of discussion.
Yep. This is super off topic, but like at some point during the past week, I thought of like the song that keeps playing during Noragami, where it's like ding, 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 ding. Yeah, I just randomly thought of that, and I was like, "What the fuck is that from?" Like I couldn't place it, and I was like, "What the fuck is that from?" I can't. What the fuck? And then I watched the first episode for this episode, and I was like, "Oh yeah, right, fucking Noragami." Yeah, I was just like jamming out to it in my head, and I was like, what the fuck is this even from?
You're talking not the intro, right? Just like the
the music that plays when Yato does the rend. The rend music.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about the one song where like there's some kind of action that's about to start, and it sounds like this one old guy in the background. He's going, yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know those were the same.
I don't know.
Songs.
Honestly, it might be the same. It might be different. I don't even know. But yeah, just like the dude like chanting and shit in the background. I was like, what the fuck is this from? I can't place this shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's equal parts like iconic that then I hear it and I'm like, oh yeah, of course. But also, like I said, I just couldn't remember that it was from Noragami.
I feel like at this point it's going to be burnt into our brains by the time we're done with this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready for the show to be over and for us to start something new, because like I said, I love Yato. I'm just done because I know what's coming these next 5 episodes. I'm just like, ugh.
Well, okay, so the next time, I know this is more for outro people, but spoilers. Are we just 5 episodes left now? Like just the next time we talk about this, it'll be it.
Yeah. So
next week it'll be done.
Next week's the last episode of JJK, and then the week after that's the last episode of Noragami.
Nice. A new coin for all of us.
And the next ones will be revealed right now in the outro. Roll it.
Yeah, no.
Solid 8 minutes.
So then the next thing that happens is Dr. Kugaha goes up to Kugaha. Kugi Mugi.
What?
You're lucky I don't have my fucking soundboard, because I'd be playing all kinds of shit right now.
Josh, your towel fell.
In my notes, I just call him Doc. The doctor goes up to IHOP and like lifts her shirt and like starts rubbing her belly. I'm like, yes, the medicine should wear off eventually. And I was like, and then it wears off. She gets blighted, and then he's still touching her. I'm like, how is he not? He does this like 4 or 5 times. He touches blight like 4 or 5 times. I'm like, how is he not contracting the blight?
Obviously, he has the medicine that like represses it, so he probably takes it himself.
It was just Or didn't they say that was just to conceal it, not to actually like cure it?
Yeah, it was only to
That's like
hide
a
it. Yeah,
technicality.
yeah.
Well,
I don't know. It's. Well, I mean, they do the same thing with Yuki too, because Yuki fights regalia that are blighted, and he doesn't get blighted like when he touches them.
Actually, I
But
have a
Yato
guess.
gets some on his neck.
Yeah.
Yato does, but Yuki
I
doesn't.
have a guess. Because this is, I mean, we're gonna talk about it later on, like 2 episodes deep, but like isn't he a conjurer? So maybe he has some kind of
Oh,
like
the doctor.
some
The
kind.
doctor.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's a
That
conjurer,
Like
so maybe that's some kind of like
some
way to
resistance.
bypass getting blighted.
Yeah, that might be it. But then so after the IHOP's medicine wears off, Bish gets infected with the blight, but she's like, and I don't care that I'm. What are you laughing at, Yusuf?
I thought he just called her bitch, and
No, she's Bish. I should call her Bish.
I know. I
don't
started
want
Is that
laughing
bad that
before
that's
I
like
realized
the
that he just said bish.
that's like
I
the
know,
only
I'm
way I can
fucking-
remember her name. It's just like, what's her name? Oh yeah,
I need
bitch.
to. I need to fix this fucking.
You should just call her. You should just call her upskirt from now on because okay. Well,
Whoa.
welcome to Mitch's dungeon.
Yeah.
After
we are.
hours.
Hey,
You turned on
after
the
hours.
black lights.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
and you got the LEDs.
This episode podcast after hours.
After
Hey, where are those
hours.
white spots in the background, Mitch?
My cum stains.
All
You
right.
think I would care about that, bro? Okay. But so yeah, Bish is just like, you know what? I'm still gonna kill you. I don't care that I'm blighted. And then my next thing I noticed is like I said, how does Yuki not get blighted? Which
Well, do you think he? Well, that can't be. Does Bish have any blessed weapons or regalia?
Kazuma is her blessed vessel.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was
Yeah.
gonna say like, well, maybe because Yuki's a blessed one, but that wouldn't make sense because Kazuma gets fully blighted too after touching
Yeah.
Bish. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's just kind of inconsistent, really.
yeah. I think that is because they're like, fuck, we really can't have Yuki get blighted right now because it would make this fight too unfair for Yato. So we just have to not have him get blighted. It was just like a thing. Whatever.
Yeah, I was like about to say, well, maybe because it depends on the god that's using them, and Yato wasn't blighted, but then he was, and he was still using Yuki.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just inconsistencies that they had to do for sake of plot.
They just
Whatever.
They just want you to ignore it and just enjoy the action for what it is, I guess, and this huge like drama. And Bish just keeps fighting, even though she's just, dude.
She doesn't give a shit.
Bish is just tough, dude.
Yato,
it's crazy. Like she's like the strongest like god, right?
She's one of the strongest 7. Yeah, she's one of the 7 gods of fortune. So,
oh, she's a god of fortune.
She's one of the like. So she's god of war, but like in Japan, in Shintoism, there is the hierarchy, and they're called the 7 gods of fortune. So there's like the god of wealth. Like you remember in like episode 20 when Bishman is at the council place, or episode 19, she sees all the guy that's like the super cool blonde dude that's like coming to my shrine in Hawaii.
Yeah,
he's one of the other 7 gods of fortune.
Guy Freddy.
Yeah, so Guy Ferrer. So yeah,
Ferrari with a bunny mascot.
They're not actual gods of fortune, but that's just their title. Like they're the 7 gods, the 7 most powerful gods.
Well, if Bish proven anything these like next 2 episodes, it's definitely that she is just, she is very strong because she was like completely blighted. And how many of her regalia died during that like entire like dock, like with the
almost
Phantom?
Almost all of them.
Like 80% of them. She only had like 10 left or something.
Pretty much all the ones that she didn't or had equipped originally.
Only the important ones lived. That's what I wrote down. Only the ones that we show
that tiny group of them in the little pool.
Yeah,
they had the old man guarding them.
Yeah.
So then the next thing that happens is IHOP. She's like, "Oh, I don't want." She has a change of heart, and she's like, "I regret what I did." And she goes to goes to Simba, and it's like, "Simba, I know where Kazuma is. You need to free Kazuma." And he's like, "Okay." So then they go and they free Kazuma and Hiyori. And then this scene pissed me off so much because Kazuma turned into the little biggest bitch ever. He's like, Hiyori, you have to go back to your body. You are literally dying. If you come with us, you will die. And she's like, but I want to see Yato. And he's like, okay, you can come see Yato. I was like, what?
Well,
You're just gonna let her come?
She kind of made a good point.
She went from having her. Yeah, go ahead, Josh. Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I
feel like
go ahead, Josh's towel.
Yeah, I feel like she made a good point in that, you know, if she had not showed up, yeah, it would have been hard to convince Yato that Hiyori was actually okay. He probably would have just kept fighting. That's she had to literally step right in fucking front of him, or I don't know if she was right in front of him, but she had to be there for him to be like, oh, I can stop.
Yeah, and yeah, so that was her role there yet again. She had to be the one to save or stop Yuki or Yato, but she was like on the brink of disappearing, right? Like she would not have been able to return to her body if she was there any longer. But all of a sudden, she's out, like she's just completely knocked out, and then Kazuma gets broken out of jail, and then all of a sudden he turns around, she weakly stands up, she's like, Yato-san, it's for me. I have to be the one. And he's like, no. And then she stands up more like normal. But Yato-san, me, I'm the one. And she's like completely fucking normal. Her tail gets back. So what the hell is that?
I know. It makes no fucking sense. It's just another thing plot armor.
That's just the power of friendship.
Yeah.
And her deep bond.
It's not friendship anymore. It's more than friendship.
I don't know, that new guy in episode 20 looking pretty lit.
Oh. I don't know. I mean, Hiyori was Yato's first.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, and all this time Yato had his own E, and we didn't even know.
What?
E.
What the fuck's an E?
He had his own E.
I don't get it.
Well,
all right, roll it back.
I'm sure Josh can explain it.
Last Noragami episode.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
We'll come across it. I think you'll remember once you bring it up yourself.
Yeah. Oh, my voice just cracked really bad.
17.
This episode.
So then Dr. Kagugaga unleashes a mass phantom on the regalias, and the mass phantom just starts eating all the regalias. But Bish doesn't care because Bish is like, I want to kill Yato.
Yeah, well, it blows my mind too, because it's like mid-fight she's realizing like all these regalia are dying, and then she's like, "This mother effer's killing them right now." Like,
I know
he's right there.
I know.
What are you talking about?
You're literally fighting him. How do you think he's killing them all?
I did. That blew my mind. I'm like, she has extreme tunnel vision right now to be just completely ignoring all the regalia that are dying. Well, I mean. Yeah, she was going nuts though at that point, because like she was like summoning like other regalia that weren't blighted and blighting them. Yeah, like all of her regalia around her were completely suffering. They didn't want to fight anymore.
Only thing she cared about at that moment was killing Yato.
Mm-hmm.
Because of her vengeance. So then
I'm honestly shocked she's not doesn't feel more guilty about that, you know? Because like in the end they're just kind of like, you know, become like a happy family again, like nothing really happened. But it's like you used the shit out of us, man. Like we almost died because of your obsession.
80%.
It's okay because they have a diary now.
Yeah,
that they can write their feelings in.
How could I forget?
80% of their brothers, sisters, fathers, or mothers died. But you know it's okay because we have diaries now.
The power of friendship and family.
Exactly.
I
Yes,
think the real loss were the glasses from King K.
Yeah, Kazu Daddy. These glasses are gone.
At least it was the glasses and not King K himself.
Surprised he didn't die.
Well,
we're jumping ahead.
Speaking of fucking Kazuma, the next thing I have written down is that him and Hiyori show up Hiyori riding the back of Mufasa show up, and they're like,
"That's Mufasa.
Hey, stop fighting."
They
don't stop fighting. They don't stop fighting, and Hiyori's like, Yato, stop fighting. He's like, I can't stop fighting or I'm gonna die. And then fucking Bish swings the sword down, and Kazuma's like, Yato's about to get hit, and Kazuma pushes him out of the way and takes the blade himself. and then we cut.
One thing I was like weirded out about is I think like right before that, like they were trying to talk sense into her, she wasn't really responding to it, and then Yato's like, all right, we just gotta kill her now because there's no point, like there's no turning back, we can't cure her, we can't save everyone, the only way to actually fix it is to kill her. So then Yuki's freaking out, he's like, I don't want to do it. Yato's like, I got it, don't worry. And then they show this scene where like he actually cuts her head off, right? Was that just like in his mind, like what it was
No,
going to look like, or did
he
it
was
actually
cutting
happen?
he was cutting her chest.
Yeah.
Right up here.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, her head looks so long. Her neck looks so long in that scene.
Her hair probably doesn't help either because it's so goddamn long too,
and
and
the
probably
proportions are off just because of the fan service too.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, shut up.
I understand why.
Skirt though.
I understand why Yato thought the way he did, because in all reality, killing a god has no consequences. Like if Bish would have died, there was been zero consequences.
What happens to the regalia? They just turn back to spirits, right? Or do they just?
I think they're just liberated, right? And then they can choose.
Or did they stay as
back.
the regalia?
I think they stay as a regalia. They get technically not unnamed, but they get like released, and then they can choose to go back to that god if they want. Because Daikoku was explaining to Yuki that Kofoku has died a bunch of times, but whenever she comes back, he raises her up from a child, and like that's the only thing she requires of him is to be there when she dies and reincarnates. So they can choose to go back to their god, I think. So like,
and Bishamon said that to Kazuma too, like in that flashback.
Yeah. She's like, if I die, will you still be my regalia? Which, so I understand why Yato did what he like, because in all honesty, killing her would have been the easiest outcome for everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it would have been the easiest, but then you just have a complete like reset of Bish. So if they could avoid that, they probably wanted to.
Yeah, so
it'll play right into the doctor's hands, right?
That's exactly what he wanted.
Hand.
Yeah. It's exactly what he wanted, was her to reincarnate. So they can manipulate the child.
So after they stopped fighting for a little bit, the doctor comes in and is like trying to convince Bish to just start over, like off herself or something.
You know that whole scene where Kazuma and Bish are hugging and crying, and we think Kazuma just died, and then that ends episode 17. Episode 18 starts, and the doctor reveals himself. Well, Yato's like the one hiding in the shadows. Blah, blah, blah,
and then he flashes his two cool swords and is like, "Hey, leave her alone, man."
Yeah. And honestly, as Dr. Kugaha was explaining why he did it, he made some fucking really good points. I'm not gonna lie. Like, he made some serious, like, Bishamon, like, is an idiot for accepting all these regalia. She should be more strict with who she accepts, and that she should actually treat them like regalia instead of just accepting every spirit she sees as a regalia and forgetting about them and throwing them aside. So he has some good points. Like, the reason he wanted all this, like, his end motives were not good, but he had some really strong points of why she is getting blighted all the time, and why
I think she is really strong, and so she's capable of having that many in the sense that she can handle that pain, but she was not good at actually managing them properly to make sure that they all felt like loved or remembered or valued.
They were pretty much
so she ended up screwing herself over and making it a shit time for them.
Yeah.
So nobody was really having a good time.
Yeah, they were pretty much just faking being a happy family because the regalia didn't want to hurt Bish, and Bish didn't want to let the regalia know that they were hurting her.
Yeah. Because he already explains that to Kazuma when they're on their way to the fight. She's like, yeah, Yato and Yuki fight a lot, but they also know what they're feeling all the time. Where Bish, we find out in episode 19 that Bish would just hold all her pain inside so that she didn't want her regalia to worry, so she would just keep developing this pain without them realizing they were hurting her, because she didn't want them to worry.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this is what it is. So
yeah,
then,
but then ultimately, like after Yato hears that, and the doctor's like reaching out for like Bish's face, he cuts off one of his hands, and he's like, "What are you talking about? There's no right and wrong with a god. They're just right.
yeah, gods
Whatever
are
a
always
god,
right.
they're never wrong." But I mean, I guess there's like some truth to it because they're gods. You know, they pretty much shape everything. So if they want to blow up a city or something, if they have the possibilities to do it, then yeah, that's technically right because the gods, I'm assuming, shape the world in this show.
Well, it's kind of weird, like the gods. And I don't want to talk too much about Shintoism because I don't know a lot. I'm reading a book about it right now, but in Japan, gods are very like they're not like how we view gods, right? They're not like God, like that creates the world. Like especially in the way uh, Kofoku was describing how gods exist. Gods are created through the wishes of humans. So I don't know if they have that power to create and shape the world. Like gods are a product of human emotion in Shintoism, I
Well,
think.
I would imagine they would have some like, I don't know, they have some powers to somewhat shape the world, not like physically themselves, but motivate others to shape the world as they see it.
Yeah.
Because they obviously can kill others, as we see in like episode 20, or with the previous bad guy.
Isn't it that they like need a regalia in order to like affect the world, like in a physical sense or thing? Or am I like mixing up JJK or something? Because I thought I remember that being like a point of the show where like they said something about like Yato being unable to do not just fighting, because that's, you know, obvious he doesn't have his sword, but like he can't do certain physical things because he doesn't have his
Well, he doesn't
regalia.
have a. He can't kill. He can't like purify the phantoms without a regalia.
Mm-hmm.
He needs Yuki to do that.
You
But
can't touch them.
well,
Yeah. But I thought that there
wait,
was other stuff
Yato's
too.
physical though in the real world. They just
He
don't
is.
see
Yeah.
him. So
You remember like
I'm
episode
saying
like
like you can't touch them, otherwise he'll get blighted.
Phantoms,
no, like,
yeah.
oh yeah, phantoms. I mean, I'm talking about like real people.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Well, like Yato is physically real, but they explained it in episode 3 that he's there. It's just like you walk past a person on the street, you see that person, but you don't recognize that as a person you walk past. Just like, oh, that's a person. Yeah, I don't sure whatever. Like you don't pay attention to that person actually being there. So that's kind of what they tried to explain it as, but it's what it is. I don't know. It's
Well,
so then,
yeah. In the apparently in what was the religion called? The Shinto.
Shintoism. Yeah,
Yeah.
Shinto.
So you got a comment saying that their
Yeah,
power of the god is related to how many followers it has. So, I mean, if Noragami's relates gods relate to Shinto, then I mean,
well, it is. Yeah,
then what's that one guy's name with the goatee and stuff that helped him? Yato.
Tengen.
Yeah,
Tengen.
dude, he's gotta be like jacked as shit then, right?
Yeah. Well, Tengen, and I don't know. Like again, I'm not an expert on this stuff, but Tengen in real life, the story of Tengen, he was a human originally that did something bad. I don't know what he did bad, but his memory turned into this like a yokai, which is like a monster that like tormented. But then something, I got to reread the book I'm reading, but something happened that turned his memory of a negative memory into a positive memory, and then he became the memory of him, whether he's a real person or not, became a memory of a god. So like gods are created, not like they don't already exist.
Okay.
So,
well,
but
I guess
that's not important.
Yeah, I guess we can move on. But thank you, Panda B 2 for the fun fact.
I did not give. So during the whole like the fight between or the talk between Kaguha and Yato and Bishamon, they keep flashing back to this girl called Fumaha, who's sitting there crying like, "Oh, I don't care anymore. All my friends are dead." I didn't give two shits about this girl. I was like, I don't care if she dies. We've never met this girl before. True. Who cares, man? Who cares?
Who was the other girl with her? Was that the most recent addition to the family?
That was the last recruit, like the broken mirror, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's just there, pretty much.
Are you sure? Okay, wait. Are you sure? Because when they flashed, like later,
not the little girl, but the one that
no. I know. No, but when they flashed pictures of when Kaguya was talking about how she accepts too many weak regalia, they flashed a picture of that broken mirror, and then I don't like. I thought that broken mirror became the girl with the hat with the really bad haircut.
That's a different girl.
No.
Because the way they like flashed that picture and then like morphed it into
she's an actual weapon though. Yeah. That's why IHOP was jealous of her, because she's getting used more than her.
Yeah.
Okay. But the brunette, I'm pretty confident, is the one we were introduced that was the broken mirror.
Okay. Well, anyways, I didn't care about either of those two. I was like, why are they showing this? It's pointless.
Yeah. So, I mean, ultimately the doctor gets unnamed, his name stripped away, and then she just shoots him back to the real world.
Yeah, so Yato rends the Phantom, breaks the mask. We get like a couple flashbacks of Kaguya because Bishamon's still protecting him, and then she unnames him. No, she doesn't unname him. She releases him, which is stupid. But
yeah, shoots him back.
So then
Yato gets pissed off.
Yeah, well, yeah, I would be. Of course, you get pissed off. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yep.
And then Bish goes to fight the other Phantom who's attacking her regalias in her spring, which was a really cool fight scene, I think.
It was cool. We were able to see what like an old lady regalia was, and it was like a little knife, I guess, or a little hidden sword.
It was like a thin blade. I don't understand.
Like a little rapier type of weapon. Yeah. I wish she would have called on more of them since they were there.
She didn't want to blight them.
So she just blighted the old dude?
Well, it was an old lady.
That was a sacrifice?
An old lady. Well, yeah. she called the old lady and she was like, I'm sorry I have to do that. It's okay. I'd rather it be me than the young one. What are we? Did it fucking cut out again?
Yeah. You were like, and she said,
I was saying, Bishamon called the old lady's name, and she was like, I'm sorry I have to do this. But the old lady was like, I'd rather it be me than the young one.
Yeah.
So the old lady was like, don't call anymore.
That would have been so funny if like Bish called her and then she landed and gets blighted. She's like, I'm sorry, I have to do this. Fucking release me. Oh God. Oh, it fucking burns.
Don't you know I'm old and frail?
Jesus Christ, man. Why'd you think this was okay?
The first time you've called me in eons and this shit, really?
Wow, Jesus, man.
So then, I don't understand why during the fight, or a little after the fight, we get the entire fucking Kazuma flashback again.
Yeah.
Like that was very out of place, random, whatever.
So yeah, I think it was just like kind of just replaying the fact that like the same thing happened however long ago. She had to, like, her family died because they were in like this big phantom, right? They were all like just pulled into that. And instead of someone else taking care of the problem, she's actually taking care of the problem. So it was just like a parallel between that. But now she was taking matters into her own hands instead of Yato, who was there, but he always like, nah, we're done. We gotta go. And he's like, okay, Hyoni. And then,
okay, dear.
He followed the tail home.
So then Bish rends it. I was kind of hoping we would get like Bish's version of the desecrate the land of the rising sun rend thing, but we didn't. She just stabbed it and it rended.
Yeah, she's not the main character. Come on.
Yeah, I think that scene was still pretty. It was pretty.
It was
satisfying.
Very cool. And then the cool shot where
right at the end,
sun is on the blade and she's crying. I was like, oh, that was really cool.
Yeah. Is that the end of 18 then?
Oh, cool. Then we find out that Kazuma survived, and then there's like only like 10 of her regalia left, and it's only the ones that we really care about. It's only the important ones. And we find out that they have like a share your feelings journal.
It's all the the only regalia that survived are the ones that were like in that pool, the one that had the ablution thing. So IHOP, and then the other ones that were pinned in her inventory.
Yeah, the ones that she wears. So like I said, the only ones that were important.
Well,
that's the end of 18.
Now they can share their feelings, and the king decides to remain Bish's, what do they call it? Like that's like the top tier.
Exemplar.
The E.
The E. Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
The E. So then, and then 19
I remember what it's called, but for the meme, keep it going. E.
All right, so then episode 19 opens with Yato, Hiyori, and Yukine coming back, and everyone's like, "Oh, welcome back! We're so happy you're not dead." And then they're like, "Okay, it's time to go." And Tengen's like, excuse me,
dude. This kind of annoyed me. Like
what?
Like
it's like the 5th time he's fucking said it.
Yeah, not only is Tengen still on this shit.
The second.
Oh,
yeah, we didn't know what the second
we
thing
didn't
was.
Know,
right?
but we
it
knew.
was so predictable.
We didn't know, but we knew.
Yeah. So like after everyone's like all happy and stuff, Tengen's like, all right, trying to drop the bomb on everyone right now and really sully the mood.
Yeah, really.
Hey,
really
I know you're all happy to be alive, and I'm sure you're tired as shit and you want to just go relax. But yeah, you know that bitch you just risked your life for. Get rid of her.
Sever those ties.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we don't even get an answer there. And then literally the next scene, we get like a fake out where Hiyori's walking down the same goddamn street as in the first goddamn episode that we've seen like 20 times at this point, it feels like. And then sure enough, Yato pops out of nowhere like, hey, join the Yato fan club. It's like, oh, so you didn't even listen to Tengen at all. You know what the stupid part about that is, though? He agreed with Tengen to drop Hiyori, but then Tengen just doesn't give a shit. He's like, that Yato.
Whatever.
Wow. What was I even gonna do?
Yeah. That is really annoying. I was pissed off about that. But I mean, for more than one reason. Like I guess it's good that it happened, but it doesn't make sense. Plot holes. But I was really annoyed in that scene because say what you want, like the gods and the regalia, like they're really hard to notice when they're in public, right? Mm-hmm. But when they're all talking about what club you're going to join, and then Yato's bitch ass comes up right between them, and he's like, "Hey, yo, join the Yato club. Hey, yo, join the Yato club. The Yato club, though." And you're not gonna fucking notice that, dude. I was so pissed.
Well, I just realized
that's like the perfect chance to get people to remember you, like create a club under your name and whatever.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I just remembered, speaking of the memory, Tengen asking Yato to sever ties with Hiyori is basically asking him to make himself not exist anymore. Because Hiyori's the only one that
before her. He existed before her, but we got into that later on too. But other people saying, "Yeah, I'm kind of shocked." And now I don't even realize how he's still around even before Hiyori.
We find out from Kofuku that he lived day by day with the anxiety of disappearing because he didn't know who knew him and who remembered him. So the one person he knows for a fact remembers him, Tengen's like, yeah, get rid of her. Get her the fuck out of here.
But I mean, it's not just that. It's just every shitty situation that has happened to like Yato and Yuki and stuff has been directly correlated to the fact that they have a bond with what's her face? Hiyori. Yeah, it's just because of that. It's like Hiyori goes back to her normal life and probably has a successful future and a happy life, and then Yato keeps doing what he was doing before. And now he has the E regalia with him. So, I mean, potentially you can do more go with it, but I don't really know the benefit
Hiyori had a perfect shot, like a perfect opportunity to gain like another follower for Yato when she had, it was like that one bitch boy scene where like the kid runs up to her with like the massive crush. He's like, "Yay, you gave me a knife. He told me to stab people so they can stab me back or something." He gets all like flushed and runs away when he's like, fuck, and he just runs away.
Your shoes are really cool.
Yeah. And she kept saying, "Well, it wasn't me. And he's like, who's Yato?" She's like, "It was Yato." He's like, "Who's Yato?" I'm like, "Dude, come on. You have the shrine. You have a picture of the shrine. You have the fucking plot of land. Like, be like, this guy."
This
You see
guy.
that little shit?
Yeah, but then for all we know, what he sees is just a picture of the plot of land, or maybe like a
he's just
blank
gotta
canvas
believe.
because
Yeah,
wasn't that a picture of
Yato
like the other
priestess.
world or some shit, or is that like real world shit?
I feel like it was like I don't know if that plot of land was in like whatever.
I think it was in the
Fukuhara, whatever the hell the place is called.
The far
But,
shore.
Yeah, it was in the far shore.
Okay. Well, she
But
should just
I
make like a
know what you
mod.
mean. Hiyori could have tried harder to get this kid to remember Yato.
Yeah. There's so much
same with
shit they can do, but
Yeah, same with
But
her
that's
friends, but for some reason when he does that, even though she just said like, I don't want to forget you, I want to stay close to you, then that scene happens and he's like, join the Yato fan club, and she gives him like the coldest shoulder in the world, and I'm like, fucking
Dude,
why?
my boy
she just narcolepts on the floor and then just fucking
boy,
starts
man.
still
stomping
keeps
roots like
running
Assassin's
away.
Creed.
My boy just gets
Yeah.
constantly abused by this bitch. I don't get it, man. She's so mean to him all the time, and then he's just like,
Well, and then she does
Hot
like
and
the
cold.
most ultimate thing in the world and gives him a shrine, which we find out more about his past, where when he was younger, he never thought, he was told not to worry about ever getting a shrine because it's not made for gods like him. And that was pretty much his dream ever since he was a child centuries ago. And now finally somebody has made him a shrine, pretty much guaranteeing that he won't disappear or making it very, very less likely.
I don't know about you guys. I got super emotional in that scene because they actually they gave him something that he always wanted, made his dreams come true. He was like crying, like it was like a truly, truly emotional scene. And I was like, man, just keep this going for like another 30 seconds. Like I'm gonna start crying. Like I was getting teary eyed, and then all of a sudden, fucking Yuki's like, you got this fucking snot in your nose, dude. Here, and he just starts blowing his nose. I'm like,
it's Noragami, man. They can't have actual emotional scenes, man, and they have to.
They got the music for it though. Like sometimes they really bring in the feels good music, and it's like, yeah, damn, let's keep this rolling.
Mm-hmm. Well, going back a little bit, we have to talk about Ibisu, whatever how to pronounce his name, offering like a couple million yen for Yukine to buy Yukine, and Yato's like, oh, maybe I should do it. And Yukine's like, what are you talking about? You're gonna sell me? And then Ibisu's like, Yuki, I'll pay you 1 million yen a month. And Yuki's like,
ooh,
maybe
okay,
you should sell me.
Maybe you should sell me.
You little shit, you're thinking about it too.
Yeah, so it's just they're both just, it's just comedy moments, and this whole like mini plot for this episode was just to show how Yuki is becoming an exemplar, and he wants to protect Yato and take care of Yato,
yeah,
like
so
Kazuma does Bishima.
Since Yuki became a blessed regalia, that's a very, very, very rare thing to happen with regalia, and so then I don't know if it guarantees that regalia becomes the E to the god, but
I don't think you have to be a blessed vessel to be an exemplar.
No,
or a blessed vessel.
I'm just saying that's like the default. You get to that level, it's like, okay, yeah, you're the big boss now, Doug.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a blessed vessel and then just any other normal regalia that hasn't transformed in that way, then yeah, you probably would lean towards that. But Yuki just doesn't even have any competition, anyways.
Yeah.
So just by default, he's the E.
He's got hero.
Yeah, I guess, but she holds her gods captive. What?
Yeah, we'll talk about that in episode 20. So yeah, so then Yuki makes it rain to kill the money hungry phantom.
Greed.
And Yato tries to steal some of the money, which I thought was a funny scene.
Yeah,
question. Before, like when they saw the dude that was like stealing the money, and then he got on his bike, and Yato wanted to like get rid of that phantom, like that little tiny flea. He like called for Seki, but he just didn't transform at first, and then he had to like repeat it, and then he transformed. Like, is there any significance behind that?
I think
was
it was Yuki just like, I'm pissed at you. I don't want to transform right now.
Was he mad about
there have
it?
been other times where he didn't want to, or like maybe he was just like caught off guard, and then he still had to transform anyway.
Or he was like He was maybe just distracted.
Yuki's
attention.
Yuki's getting stronger, so I think he can withstand it now. He'd be like, I don't want to right now. And Yuki, he was just mad because they were talking about how money is, and Yuki was just being a teenager. They were having a little argument, and it really wasn't important.
I think your point about him being stronger kind of makes the most sense because like back when he was blighting Yato and he was like too dull to kill phantoms, he was clearly very upset with Yato, and he still had to turn into Seki when he was called.
Yeah. Also, too, when Yato tries to kill that tiny little phantom, Yuki is moving away from it, saying, I can't cut it. It's too small for me to cut. So I think he's stronger now, so he can kind of have more control over what happens when he's in his Seki form.
Yeah. No, I guess that makes more sense than what I was thinking. Why he didn't respond to the word. I thought it was just because like Yato got so comfortable with him that like just the amount of like force he like makes the regalia transform or something. He was probably just saying like, "Hey, come here," but like before at the original, he's like, "All right, here."
Well, yeah, that's what I think. It's a combination of both. I think it's a combination of like Yato trusts Yuki more, so he doesn't have to summon him as hard, but also at the same time, Yuki's like, I don't want to fucking go.
Yeah,
like, I don't want to transform.
Yeah, but the whole point of like the E regalia, that they're supposed to be kind of like a mentor or somewhat of a guide for the gods,
like an
right?
advisor kind of to the god.
Yeah, like an advisor to the gods.
Well, like they have to help shape like the gods they serve, pretty much.
Yeah, they're like a demigod kind of.
Yo, it's nutty, dude. How the fuck did Yuki get to this level already, dude?
Well, the first time Yato used him, he knew off the bat.
He knew he was special.
I need to buy a new mic, dude. I need to buy a fucking new mic.
Mitch, just talk.
Yeah,
Mitch, just talk, Mitch. Just talk.
Mitch, maybe something's in your mic. Bring the black light over to your mic.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I just watched that bar go from like green to just red.
Yeah, put a headphones warning on the YouTube video.
Maybe that's why it doesn't work, because I blow too much.
What?
Maybe,
blow your mic too much? That was like 2 intros ago.
It's perfect, man. Every intro now for our videos should just be the scene where Mitch's mic is
classic content.
Maybe that should be our recap for the year, dude. All the moments.
That was probably like my favorite intro, because the intro just shows Mitch go, and then he's like, do I put this in my mouth or not?
I hate it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then episode 19 ends with Ibisu, like after the credits, you see, or before the credits, whenever it was, you see him with the mask behind him. You're like, oh shit, he's the new bad guy.
Well, because we find out from Bish after like the big like god meeting, like someone's like, I don't know what it's called, but like they're taking control of phantoms, or like giving names to phantoms.
They're naming phantoms. Yeah.
So they're like, maybe there is a god like that that's out there, or one we haven't come across yet. And sure enough, it's going to be this new bad guy now.
Well, he ended up getting like hella blighted. So I think that he's not at all the master of it. I think he was just experimenting to see if he could, and now he's realizing like, damn, this shit tough.
Well, they mentioned too that he's died multiple times. He's died a lot.
Yeah.
He's locking it in that mask so it can be summoned later by like the conjurer thing, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. But he's died multiple times, like you guys said.
Well, he's trying to find like the one phantom he's like the most compatible with, and trying to make it like his experiments actually work. For now, it's just pretty much trial and error, and whatever phantoms they come across, they just capture, and he tries to mask them or seal them or name them, or whatever the hell we want to call it.
Yeah. Yeah. So episode 20 opens with Ibisu naming the phantom. And then we get the intro sequence, and then just fucking randomly, we get a mini episode of Tokyo Revenge where we get to see the freaking Yato Ren sequence again, and he just slays the 2 giant cock phantoms.
Oh, yeah.
Chickens.
The whole
like
the gang fight, and he has to kill
fight,
the chicken.
The two giant chicken phantoms.
Yeah, I said we get a mini
cockfight.
Yeah, we get a mini like 3-minute episode of Tokyo Revengers, and then,
I forgot that scene even happened because it just didn't make any sense.
The less I remember of episode 20, the better, because now this is where I stopped enjoying this week's episodes, because episode 20 just
this episode
doesn't make any sense.
It starts off solid because it's like, the same shit over again, just they're getting back to the normal swing of things, and now we're just kind of going off the rails a little bit.
By this point, he had his shrine. He got his shrine from that little tiny thing, and he was just like on cloud 9.
He got it officially acknowledged by like the Council of the Gods, and they gave him land in the far shore and stuff.
And they gave him a song. They gave him like a story and shit.
Well,
and
he wrote his own song and his own book.
He made all that merge.
Yeah, he made that all.
So,
but he did all that.
But now he's an officially recognized god now.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just like sucking Hiyori's tail. He's like constantly like spamming her with text messages. She's leaving him on red.
Yusuf, don't talk about you sucking on your computer screen. Stop making fun of Yato.
He's
like living vicariously. Let him dream.
He's taking a bunch of jobs.
He's in high school. Dude.
I'll take the 5 yen. Oh yeah, another 5 yen. Cockfight? Yeah, that's fine. 5 yen. See y'all later. Let's go. Hiyori-chan. Why you leave me on red?
He texts me every 5 minutes, and then if I don't answer, he calls me. Hey, just checking up on you.
Yeah, Kofoku was even like, "Whoa, that's a lot."
Oh God. Actually, you are his first. What? Could you have said that a little bit more different?
It was. I was like dying at the fact that he wanted to like do all these like random fun things. I think they were in the far shore. He's like, guys, I want to go to Six Flags. I want to ride this roller coaster. I don't want to go by myself.
I felt like they were like couple things.
Yeah, those were all like real human things, like in the human world,
but like human and like couple things.
Yeah, like he wants to make his new goal in life, because now he has a shrine. His new goal in life is to make Hiyori the happiest girl in the world.
Well, so we know what's gotta happen.
Yeah,
gotta make sure something with that tail.
Yeah, if anything happens to Yato, Hiyori's supposed to go to that one couple.
But she's there 24/7 anyway. So.
Yeah.
So we just need him to repeat it one more goddamn time so I can officially lose my mind.
Then we already talked about the bully kid come back. How much of a Homer Simpson he was. Who cares about him? Doesn't matter.
Well, that's because Tengen like shat on Hiyori. He's like, "Yo, you gotta live your life. Do you even have a boyfriend? What the fuck?" And then it like flashes to her almost falling down the stairs, and this one dude like finesses her hips, and then he's like, "Yo, you almost fucking ate shit." Picks up the bottle she like tripped on.
You almost died.
She literally fell for him.
You almost ate shit. Yo, what the fuck are you doing?
You gotta be fucking careful with this, bitch.
And then I'm like, it says something like romantic line. He's just like, "Hey, you almost ate shit."
Well, this is all during like when Yato's having like a hiatus now, and this is after what Nora abducts him.
Yeah, because he goes. Mitch, I assume you have notes, but I'll do you a solid on this one. He goes to Nora. He finds Nora because he wants to finally unname her and be away with her. He doesn't want the chance of ever even calling on her again. He's like, I got a shrine, I got a blessed vessel, I'm set, I don't need you. And then she fucking just ambushes him with her wolf phantom fucking things, and he's not at all prepared to handle that fight, and so he gets overpowered pretty easily.
Yeah, I'd like to think that she took personal offense to like she's like a trophy collector, and she was being threatened of losing one of her trophies. You good there, Trev?
Yeah.
Welcome
back.
It was.
I
I
was
was censored for a little bit.
I was that close to saying bye, Trav.
This was the fucking upside down.
Getting
Might
censored,
as well,
Cam.
come on.
Yeah,
Okay.
dude.
So yeah, I know. I think you're right too. That like she, probably was not thrilled to hear that. I think she enjoys, playing with Yato's emotions and likes the idea of her kind of always having the chance of being called upon.
Well, during the scene, we get a I think, kind of really big info drop where she's like, "How could you do this to me, Yato? Don't forget who's the one that made me a Nora in the first place." So, meaning she was someone else's regalia first, and he's the one that made her and disgraced her.
Oh.
Yeah, and now she's got all these other names on her. So.
I thought it was the way I took that was like Nora was originally Yato's regalia, but then times probably got tough, and so then he like sold her off to other people.
No, I'm pretty sure she was someone else's. Then he named her.
Yeah,
I get the reasoning why he felt the need to go to her and be like, yeah, I want to cut ties. I don't really need you, but he has to like know
She's gonna
the
try
type
something.
of person that she is. Like they've spent like centuries together. Like he knows how she behaves, her personality and shit. He should just fucking let her be, dude. Like he doesn't need to use her.
Yeah.
Even if he names her, she's still gonna be there. So I don't think it would have done any harm just to leave her.
Yeah,
But I think it was just for the random ass plot twist.
I don't know how that works, because if he was gonna release her, then that's one thing. But if I don't know how it works if a Nora gets unnamed, because normally if a god unnames a regalia, they die. But because Nora has so many names, I don't know what would happen if Yato unnamed her. If she would just
it should be okay.
lose his name and keep the rest of the names, or what?
Yeah,
I would think so.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe Hiyori yells at him or something.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, so then
Or maybe
Nora
they make a diary together.
Nora has him go on this. He
killing spree.
goes on this binge of the God of Calamity again, and he just kills a bunch of people.
Yeah, it's like he gets kidnapped by Nora as wolves and stuff, and now he's back to old Yato. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Huh?
He's using her as his regalia. He's killing humans, and he's just taking all sorts of jobs to kill people, like he did back in.
I'm assuming he's under some sort of brainwashing or some shit, because this makes no sense.
And it blows my mind too that Yuki knows what's going on, because when Hiyori asked him where's Yato, he's like, oh, he's with Nora probably, and Yuki just doesn't give a shit. Like, Yuki, what are you doing, man?
See, like,
something must be wrong.
This is where episode 20 lost me, because like these last like 3 episodes we've been building up to Yuki becoming the head honcho for Yato, and it shows like they have a really deep bond. But now at the end of episode 20 here, he's like completely just ignoring him, and like, and then Yato's going back to just killing people like, nothing's changed. It's like, I get it, like Nora probably put some doubt in his head or something, but like he could just say no. Or I'm assuming he's brainwashed, or they're holding like Hiyori and Yuki hostage or something. I don't know.
I think whoever that father person is like forcing him to do this.
He's not He's not brainwashed, but it's the fact that he doesn't have a regalia. Well, he has Nora, but if he says no, Nora will just kill him. Nora will just use her phantom wolves to hurt, torture him.
Yeah, but then
he dies.
Like he just
get reborn. He has his shrine, and Yuki's still there. And
God's like that.
There.
Listen, man, this doesn't make any sense because they needed a new. Let it fucking happen. Well, it doesn't make any sense.
Gods like Yato don't get reborn.
Why wouldn't he get reborn?
He's not powerful
he does.
enough.
He doesn't get reborn. He doesn't get reborn if no one remembers him. Like if his job is done. Yeah, he has his shrine and everything.
Nah, I'm putting a doubt in there, but that's just me. I doubt Adam.
I think you're thinking of the part that Diet Koku says that if a god gets forgotten, they don't even get reborn; they just die and they stay dead.
Trevor,
if he died, he would come back.
Trev, you do this a lot, where there's like something that's just a fact in the show that Josh Yusuf
No,
and I are like,
I
yeah, this is a
don't
fact in
think
the
that's
show,
true.
and Trav's like, I don't think that's true.
No,
But
I don't think
it's a
it
fucking fact
is.
in the show.
No, it's not. He's not.
It
He's not a
is.
high tier god. He's a low tier god. So if he dies,
You
he's
don't
dead.
have to be a high tier god to be reborn.
I don't know. Prove me wrong.
Well, I
Pull it
can't
up.
because Yato
Pull it
doesn't
up.
fucking die.
I'll go talk to the animators or the writers of the manga.
Look
I'll
up
be
the
back.
manga. I don't know. Maybe
I'd also
something's lost in
like to-
translation with the dub and the sub then, because I watched this dub.
Why?
Then what do you
It's
know
already
that
pulled
we
up.
don't know?
Trav, like that's such a big that's such like a core thing in the lore of the show that even the dub wouldn't omit that. Like they would say like, hey, Yato's been scared for centuries because of people forgetting him, and so if they did and he actually died and he would have come back, like that's such a big part of the show. I don't think the dub would miss that.
I don't know. That's just what I think.
Well, I think Yuki's being a bitch. Like he's not really doing anything to try and help Yato,
Well, it's
even
like
though he knows
Yato
where he
too is like
but-
completely betraying everything like he's worked towards. You know,
Yeah,
and this is what's blowing my mind. If he can get brought back to life, like you guys are saying, then what the F?
Yeah, I know.
What
But
are we
I'd
doing?
like to think that Yuki's well, I don't think we mentioned that Yuki's like going to get trained by Kazuma to like how to be a proper E, like be a capital letter E instead of a lowercase one, and like how to like do the little I don't know enchantment things, whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah,
little spells on people.
Invotion
I think he's
or
probably
whatever it's
gonna
called.
he's gonna go he's gonna go through like his little training arc, mini time skip shit, and then I mean there's only 5 episodes left, so there's no time skip. But go through his little training montage. He's gonna find Nora. He's gonna be like restrain, and then he's gonna fucking take Yato back.
That's what I'm thinking is gonna happen too.
Easily, you just read right through it.
Mm-hmm.
That or Yuki gets cut again and turns into 3 swords.
Yeah, and then he's gonna
one for Yato's ass crack.
No, he's gonna fight like Zoro. Zoro from One Piece, and he's gonna put it in his mouth.
I was about to say that.
I was gonna say
he's gonna turn into a fucking E with the accent on top this time. Fucking
fight
ultra
like
E.
10
and then we get another animation with him going, "I, the Yato God."
Jesus.
So then the end, like Yato's like, "Let me out." He does that meme, "Let me out, let me," but instead of "let me in," it's "let me out."
Let me out!
He beats the shit out of a bunch of wolves, and then the father's like, "Stop! You have to go to the underworld."
Oh, dude, I am fucking.
Yato's like the underworld. Oh shit! And then we cut, and then it's
all right. Sign me up.
Sign me up, bro.
Yeah, at this point, I'm done.
Yep.
This episode
I told
20,
you, bro.
This episode 20
I told
wieners.
you, like this show goes from it's okay to that the middle of season 1 I thought is really good. Then the end of season 1 is like, what the fuck's going on? The beginning of season 2 was really really good, and then this is just like, what the fuck is happening? Like they just like the creator was like, I really just want to show badass Yato, so let's make no sense and just kidnap him and make him be badass again. So what the fuck?
Even though he already was kind of badass doing all the
was
flips
very
and stuff
badass.
with like the phantoms and stuff, and he also
He
has
was
the
very
Seki,
badass.
you know, the guy, the Yato God, you know.
Dude,
I have this animation where I do this shit like 18 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, how there's a question about the animation. How the fuck does he stroke the sword with his other hand that has a sword in it?
2 fingers.
He should just fucking lick it at this point.
Yuki's learned to stroke himself.
All right. Yeah, and the tail also strokes itself.
He is an 8th grader after all. I feel like that's the age
learning.
where it's like
If they wanted Yato to look badass, they should just change him out of his fucking tracksuit that he's been in since episode 1.
No,
It's
dude,
iconic.
He is,
Dude,
yeah.
imagine being in prison. Imagine being in prison, right? Right? You just got off with like a slap on the wrist because you killed some random girl's daughter, right? So you just like survived the trial. And then you just get fucking dunked on by a fucking child's doll and a dude in a jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
hell of a way to go.
So fucking good.
Hell of a way to go. And he did for 5 fucking yen.
Yeah, she was about to give him
Yeah,
a million
and you
yen.
died because someone paid an assassin 5 yen.
Yeah.
That's what his life
give
is
him
worth.
like a million yen,
Get
and he's like,
shit
no,
on.
So you're
All I
gonna
need is
have
this.
Yato. Yato now is gonna be in the underworld, the only dude in a fucking tracksuit in the depths of fucking hell. He's like, yo,
Just chilling.
So
where we at though?
Somebody's got to represent.
Why did you bring me here, Nora? To do a thing that you don't want to do. I don't want to do the thing that you want me to do. Do you remember what will happen? Okay.
Father will be mad.
Okay,
at you.
dear.
Let me talk to your dad.
What's up for daddy?
Oh, Jesus, dude.
So
I mean, is
you
the
guys
dad
think
not the that Ibarra dude, the capybara guy, the one that got
Ibisu?
blighted,
Ibisu?
the one that's like on his deathbed? Is that not the father?
I don't know.
That is not he is not the father.
He's not the father.
Yeah.
Because Ibiru or whatever the fuck his name is, he is laid up in bed full of blight right now. He's not
He's probably gonna die
even able to
again.
move.
This is reincarnated because God's reincarnated when they die.
Yeah, but he's a
you're
high
never
value
wrong.
god. Can't
He was
prove me
in
wrong
his
because you already
office.
spoiled Yato doesn't die. Let's go.
I mean, we
The
had that
fucking
scene
main
where he was.
character guy. Of course, he's not
Let's
gonna die.
go. Trav's right.
Shut up.
I mean, he was in that little office when you saw that he has those masks. So he masks up those phantoms, and Nora uses the masks from her father.
They're definitely related.
Yeah,
So, I don't know.
At this point, I don't know what the flip's going on, and all I know is that I'm not excited like last time.
If you think episode 20 was confusing, just wait to the fucking underworld. Nothing makes sense. And it's just
well, I'm not excited anymore. I'm just
bro,
we're getting past this one.
it's rough. It's gonna be a rough 5
Like
episodes.
with the whole Bish stuff that was going on. Like I was stoked where we left off because Yuki got cut in half, and I was like, "Oh shit, what's gonna happen next episode of this episode?" You know, and I was not disappointed until episode 20, which sucks fucking wieners.
Just wait. Makes no fucking sense. But yeah, that's all we got. So
on this episode.
So yeah, Yuki's gonna learn his bullshit and completely stomp out Nora. Probably that's our predictions.
Probably,
right. But
it's not my prediction, but I know what's happening. So
what's your prediction, Mitch?
Nothing.
Just say what happens so we can fucking skip the show.
Wait, did Yato's shrine have a little smiley face on the back of it? I just
no, Yato's shrine had Yuki's
hairy
spirit. It was Yuki's spirit form, like the little ball of light that Yuki was.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
I thought it was just a smiley face.
Yeah, I did too.
I like
how much
the
I
shrine
know.
at the
even
other.
though I'm never wrong ever.
At the other
actual
shrine
place.
Trav, you're not a god. You can be wrong. Gods can't be wrong.
What? Yeah. Well, I have the power to end the stream, which is exactly what we're going to be doing for this week.
You have to end the recording first.
Yeah, this episode podcast, we are done for this week. So whoever hung out, thanks for hanging out. We appreciate it. Hope you all have a good rest of your week, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, say
bye.
Yeah. Say take it away. Take it away, Josh's fucking towel. Okay, bye.
On the next episode of this episode, Trav, Josh, Mitch, and Yusuf wrap up Jujutsu Kaisen with episodes 21 through 24. If you're not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and check out our new Spotify to listen to all our content as it's available. You can also swing by twitch.tv/Dutchery every Monday night to hear the podcast live. As always, thanks for watching. Until next time.